What just happened? What's up, everybody? Well, God bless. I hope you all are having a great week amongst the chaos that is happening around the world and around the NFL. And with that, let's get right into power rankings. Cincinnati Bengals. Bad. Things are ugly down in Cincinnati, to say the very least. I'm not sure you could say down in since they're kind of in the middle, but that's an irrelevant tangent for another time. The Bengals have a bad situation, mainly at QB. Jake Browning's performance against the Vikings was putrid. And it's very clear that Joe Burrow is going to have to do most of the heavy lifting once he gets back. And considering the fact that he's going to be out for 3 months, this team is genuinely they're cooked. The Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to put them in the good but not great tier. I mean, they beat up on the Saints, but I think this was the game where the Saints finally showed their true colors and showed they're still a tanking team. And I think there were some bright spots for sure for the Seahawks, mainly because their offense looked really good, their special teams was really good, and their defense was really good, and overall it was just a great game. But, they were really good. But I'm not ready to put them in borderline elite yet because they haven't really shown up against the really good teams yet. Giants, yeah, they're tanking. They lost a somewhat winnable game to Kansas City on Sunday night, and for them, that's really gotta stink. That was a winnable game that they kind of just let out of their hands, so to speak. Baltimore Ravens, borderline elite. I'm not panicking on this team yet because they played really good against Detroit, but the problem is they choked again. And I'm going to talk some trash here. Derrick Henry, there's genuine concerns that Derrick Henry is washed because he can no longer hold on to the football. And I think that may be a little bit of an over exaggeration, but 3 fumbles in 3 weeks really needs to be considered. And it's just not great vibes in Baltimore after 2 losses to 2 top 5 opponents. The Rams, they're still in the good but not great tier. It sucks what happened for the Rams, and the reason it sucks for the Rams is because they blew a 19-point lead and they got their game-winning field goal blocked, which that sucks for any team, but they had 2 blocked field goals in this game. So it especially hurts for this Rams team. The Cleveland Browns. They're in the bad tier, but oh boy, they actually looked competent. And that is a miracle for once. They actually look better than the Bengals, who have a one more win and one less loss than them. And the Bengals should be a much better team, but the Browns have just played solid competitive football. We'll ignore the Ravens game for now. They beat Green Bay. They beat Green Bay. Most people thought the Browns were the worst team in football, and many thought the Packers were the best team in football. So the fact that they beat the Packers just at all is a miracle. Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to have to put them in the mid tier. The fact that they lost that bad to Carolina, they put up 0 points, by the way. Zero. I had them in the good but not great tier, so I'm not going to drop them all the way down to bad. It's not like a complete panic time, but holy cow, that was a awful game. Kirk Cousins had to come in the fourth quarter because Michael Penix was so bad. It was a complete disaster for the Falcons in this game. New Orleans Saints, yeah, they're tanking. It's disappointing because I liked the Saints this year, and I still kind of like the Saints, but they played 2 competitive games where they both lost those 2 games. But this week against Seattle, they were completely no match. They were completely blown out, and now they look like the worst team in football again. So that really sucks for them. New York Jets. I'm going to put them in the bad tier because they weren't blown out this week, and really they should have been blown out by Tampa Bay. And overall, they were really competitive. But they're still 0-3, and their quarterback situation is still kind of iffy. So I can't really put them any higher than the bad tier, and I can't really put them above the Bengals either. Carolina Panthers. I'm going to put them all the way up in the mid tier above Atlanta. Man, that was a statement win for the Panthers by saying, we're going to go out and we're going to beat a Falcons team that looked like they were a trending team that people had going up. And they beat them 30-0. Bryce Young looked good for the first time in a while. And it was just everything clicked. Offensively, defensively, the Panthers just clicked in every single facet. And I bet Panthers fans love to see it. The Houston Texans. Oh boy, things have gotten really bad in Houston. Houston's excuse that they have a very difficult schedule to open the season has finally worn off. They should have beaten Jacksonville on Sunday, but they didn't because they have absolutely no offense and no offensive line. And Trevor Lawrence didn't even play that well, but their offense really could not take advantage of it. And it was just a frustrating week for Texans fans. The Las Vegas Raiders. Oh my gosh, it's hard. It's hard to watch the Raiders, to be honest, because they should be better than they are, but they're not utilizing Ashton Genty, they're not utilizing Brock Bowers, and it's just frustrating to watch them. And their defense is getting picked apart. They just got picked apart by Mariota and the Washington offense, who didn't even have Jaden Daniels on Sunday. And it's not a good sight for the Raiders, to be honest. Philadelphia Eagles, top five. Now we're starting to get to the actually good teams. And it's kind of interesting with the Eagles because really, I don't think they should be 3-0 right now, but they are 3-0. And I can't really drop them into the borderline elite tier because they've been playing good football and they've been winning games, but it feels like they're using devil magic to win these games. And as a Christian, I'm like, no devil magic for me. But in all seriousness, how are they winning these games? Like they were down 19 points this week and somehow came back and won the game. So make that make sense to me. Oh boy, Denver. I'm gonna put them in the mid tier, and let's talk about Denver for a second. They are massively disappointing expectations. They should be significantly better than they are right now, and they are just not living up to expectations whatsoever. I mean, yeah, they've had a somewhat difficult schedule. They basically got a free win against the Titans in week 1, and then they got 2 difficult opponents in the Chargers and Colts. But I think the Colts and Chargers are both beatable opponents, even though the Chargers and Colts are both 3-0. You get my point. So, I feel like there was a good opportunity for the Broncos to be 3-0 at this point. They just haven't really capitalized. Mistakes have been the big issue for them this season. Washington Commanders. What should I do with them? I'm gonna put them back in the borderline elite tier. I'm not quite ready to put them like in a tier lower because they played really good without Jaden Daniels, and I think for them, when Jaden Daniels gets back, they need to have their offense clicking. That way, Jaden Daniels can just get back into the system and they are rolling again. But that's the ideal situation. Oh boy, things are just sad down in Miami, to be honest. I mean, they're not the worst of the worst, that's definitely for sure, but another uninspiring effort as they lose another game to Buffalo that was definitely winnable. But I'm not sure what you expected, Dolphins fans. I don't like to say this because I feel it, but the Bills own you guys, and I feel this as a Lions fan because the Packers owned us for like decades and decades and decades. So I get it. The Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to put them in the good but not great tier below Seattle. And the reason I'm going to put them in the good but not great tier is because they've been playing extremely like iffy football, but they looked better against the Giants kind of. It's just kind of weird vibes in KC, but I'm not putting them in the mid tier because I just trust that KC will get things going. They're the Kansas City Chiefs. They'll figure it out. The New England Patriots. I'm going to put them in the mid tier, right above Denver. The Patriots have actually had quite a few bright spots, actually. Drake May has been getting going, but they have had some mistakes, especially in the run game, and I think those have definitely killed this team overall. And I think the Patriots could be better, and I think with a very, very weak division, I think that's easily like 2 or 3 wins more in this division alone that they could definitely earn for sure. The Dallas Cowboys. Oh gosh, things are bad down there. I'm going to put them just below the Browns, which is actually kind of embarrassing. But they got absolutely humiliated by the Bears this week. It's insane. They have no defense. CeeDee Lamb got injured. We already know the narrative that the Cowboys have this week, and it's just not good vibes all around. It's just bad vibes. Indianapolis Colts. So I'm going to do a bit of a surpriser here. I'm actually going to put Indianapolis in the top five. They've just been playing really good football, and I'm just genuinely impressed with them right now. I think they're playing really good fundamental football, and it's just a joy to watch this team. Danny Dimes has been playing great. Jonathan Taylor is Offensive Player of the Year favorite right now. They are the most fun story of this season so far, and it's a lot of fun to watch this team, to be honest. The Chicago Bears. The Bears. Let's see. The Bears are above the Broncos and not above the Patriots. But I think the Bears are the most mid team in the division. Or I'm gonna stop that now. That's not funny anymore. But genuinely, I think the Bears had a really nice bounce back week against the Cowboys, but their schedule is going to continue to get more difficult. So they really just need to continue to keep getting better and hope that, things get better. You know what I mean? I don't think you know what I mean, but anyway. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Good but not great. I'm going to put them above KC. Yeah, I'm going to put them above Seattle too. The Steelers have been playing good football. I'm going to admit that right here, right now. The Steelers are playing good football. They're not undefeated, but they're playing good football with Rodgers under center. They've got a nice win against the Patriots. They got a nice win against the Jets, who are admittedly both bad teams. But I like what I see out of the Steelers up to this point. Aaron Rodgers is playing well enough to help this team stay above 500. And hey, they're winning the AFC North right now, which is insane. The San Francisco 49ers. We're going to put them in the borderline elite tier, which is kind of surprising. I didn't think they'd be this high by now, but the 49ers are actually winning the NFC West, which, by the way, I predicted that, mostly because they have an easy schedule, but hey, you heard it from me first. But it's surprising most of all that they have been competitive with Mac Jones as their QB. And sure, their wins aren't the most impressive. I mean, the Cardinals, Seahawks, those are not the most impressive teams to beat, but they're beating the teams on their schedule for now. Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm actually going to put them in the good but not great tier because they're 2-1, and however you put it, they are 2-1, and you have to give them props for that. And I don't think that this is like a, oh my gosh, the Jaguars are like genuinely a good team, they're going to make the playoffs or anything like that. But they're playing okay football for Jacksonville standards. I mean, Trevor Lawrence has a lot of room to grow, but if you're a Jaguars fan, you're at least content with how the first 2 weeks have gone. Buffalo Bills top five. The number one team in football is obviously in the top five. Who is surprised by this one? And I think with the Buffalo Bills, it's just good football, man. They've been playing great football. They beat the Ravens in week one, which was an absolute statement and a banger of a game, and then they beat the Jets by a lot, and then they went out and they beat the Dolphins consistently. And, it's just a good time to be a Bills fan right now, as they are unquestionably the number one team in football after Green Bay's loss. The Minnesota Vikings. We're going to put them in the mid tier. I think they're probably the top of mid tier, though, if I had to be completely honest. I think the Vikings are at the top of mid tier because they're not a great team by any means of the word. McCarthy has been not great, to put it lightly, but they have been playing good football. Particularly, the defense has played pretty good through the first 3 weeks. And you can always rely on Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. And by the way, how about Carson Wentz putting up 48 points on the Bengals, even though they really don't have a defense, is still somewhat impressive. And with how bad McCarthy's been playing, Wentz might actually earn himself a starting job for this season, which maybe probably won't actually get this team to the playoffs, which is why I can't put them really any higher than mid. But they really need to just figure out their quarterback situation. That's what I'm trying to say. The Tennessee Titans, yeah, they're just a bad team. I mean, the Titans, they really didn't put up any fight against a really good Indianapolis Colts team, and that's really not a good sign. It's just not a good sign, to put it completely plainly. And I don't really know what to say. The Titans just don't have a good O line, and their roster overall is just not very good. Ao Manor as a wide receiver is pretty good, but that's about it. Detroit Lions. You already know I'm gonna put them in the top five. Come on, did you really expect me not to? Like, come on, man. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, top five, and I'm actually going to put them. That's actually weird. Where am I gonna put them? After some consideration, I've decided to put the Bucks at number two, which might surprise some people. But Baker Mayfield is playing some MVP type football and continues to deliver when it matters the most. And if he can continue to do that, then they're going to win a lot of ball games. And that's really all Tampa can ask for at this point. Green Bay Packers. I'm going to put you in borderline elite, and I'm going to put you behind Baltimore. Oh, yeah. Packers, you guys thought you were the best team in football. You really did. And then you lost. And now look at you. Look at you now. You lost to the Browns. You got humiliated. And then we won. It was a great week. It was a great week, personally. I thought it was an absolutely great week. The Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to put them in the good but not great tier, and we're probably going to put them right behind Seattle. If we're going to put it plainly, I'm going to put them right behind Seattle. The Cardinals played pretty well, but ultimately lost a defensive slugfest to the 49ers, which had to be difficult for sure. But there's definitely some bright spots. But we definitely need to see the offense get going for the Cardinals at last. And we really need to see Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray finally connect. The Los Angeles Chargers. I'm going to put them actually, I'm going to swap out the Buccaneers for the Chargers and the I'm going to put them at 4. Like, man, bro, their division has been absolutely horrid to this point. I mean, every single team in their division has one win. They have literally the same amount of wins as their entire division combined. And that's crazy, man. I did not expect of all the teams, the Chargers to be dominating this division at this point. But here we are. Quentin Johnston has been playing great, and they have beaten every single one of their division rivals in the last 3 weeks. They beat the Chiefs, Raiders, and now Broncos. And they actually look like the favorite to win their division somehow, some way. But this is the power rankings. If you want to hear every single team listed from 32 to 1, here we go. 32 Saints, 31 Giants, 30 Dolphins, 29 Jets, 28 Titans, 27 Bengals, 26 Cowboys, 25 Browns, 24 Raiders, 23 Texans, 22 Broncos, 21 Bears, 20 Patriots, 19 Falcons, 18 Panthers, 17 Vikings, 16 Jaguars, 15 Chiefs, 14 Cardinals, 13 Seahawks, 12 Steelers, 11 Commanders, 10 Rams, 9 49ers, 8 Packers, 7 Ravens, 6 Buccaneers, 5 Colts, 4 Chargers, 3 Lions, 2 Eagles, 1 Bills. But thank you for watching. God bless. Have a great day. And with that, peace!